entrepreneurs oftentimes make a grave mistake. And this is the biggest rookie mistake that entrepreneurs make. They think that churning out the product or the service and selling it or creating it is the business. They're wrong. The business is this: solving the problems when they arise.
And welcome back to the show. I am your host, Brian Elam, and it's all about heavy hitters today. I have a heavy hitter on this show. Shaahin Cheyenne is a man of many talents. The first one and foremost for be successful is an entrepreneur. He has literally one of the craziest entrepreneurship stories I've ever heard as far as how he got his start. If you're interested in that, check out his appearance on Brad Lee, which was epic, and has started hundreds of businesses, a handful of them making millions of dollars per year. So he is going to give great advice, a little bit of his story, and it's just going to be full of value. So Shaahin, thank you so much for being here today. It's a pleasure to have you.
Yeah, it's going to be fun, Brian. Let's make magic happen.
Let's do it. All right. So again, if they want to check out your full story, go read the book. It's an amazing book. Go check out Bradley's podcast. You can see it back in the corner there. But for everybody here, if you can, I know it might be tough, but if you can, give us the Reader's Digest version of your venture into the country and into entrepreneurship.
Sure. We moved to the United States in the 1980s, me and my family with me in tow, I should say. And we came to the United States, whereas in Iran, we were middle class coming here. We were poor. And my dad worked all kinds of odd jobs. I got all kinds of odd jobs too. I got a fake ID before I was 13 and pretended to be older so I could have odd jobs, realizing that, man, this working for other people, selling your hours was no way to be. So I left home by the time I was 15. I started my first company. I invented a smart drug at that time that competed with one of the largest illegal drugs that was going on. I got it out through the underground music, dance, electronic music scene, the rave scene at the time. And by the time I was 20, I had created over $1 billion in revenue, and I was just a kid, grade school dropout.
That's, again, man, just the highlights of that are just nuts. So I'm a musician. I've been playing drums for over 20 years in different bands. So I've got to ask, what attracted you to the rave scene? Like what was it that made you think, maybe that's where I'll try to get some entrepreneurial ideas or juices flowing?
Great question. Well, considering that I was sleeping in an abandoned car or in abandoned buildings, the opportunities were not, as we would say, flowing. So what did I do? Well, I realized that this flourishing underground scene started late. They had these massive speakers, and as long as I could sneak into the clubs or figure out a way to let the promoters let me in, I could sleep behind the speakers, and you would just hear the drone of the music behind the speakers, and it would just put me to sleep, and I would wake up in the morning and it wouldn't be an issue. So I started doing that. I had a mentor at the time who encouraged me to look at the business model of the underground scene. And what I learned from that was that nobody was making money other than the people selling product. And the products were all illicit. So I came up with a legal version of it, which led to a crazy, crazy time.
Yeah. That makes perfect sense. Looking for where the opportunities lie, the gaps, as they say, is all about, the entrepreneurial mindset, the entrepreneurial brain. So as someone, and I know that you value introspection. So as someone that values introspection, do you think the motivation for you to get up and get out at 15, do you think that was innate in you, or was that inspired by the books and the mentors that you had read all of your life coming up to that point?
Yeah, look, I think mentors have a big part to do with it. But ultimately, it was grit. It was coming from nothing and seeing wealth around you, seeing all these people with their big houses and fancy cars and Porsches and Lamborghinis driving down Pacific Coast Highway. And I'm this poor Iranian kid, barely speaks English, with absolutely no hope of achieving any of those things. And moreover, getting my ass kicked every day at school, that leads to building a certain type of personal resilience. Back then, I was thinking, oh my God, why is this happening to me? But as I got older, I began to realize that that was part of my journey and created the fabric of who I am now. Gritty, resilient. I don't take shit. I'm patient and impatient at all the right times. So I think it goes to that old maxim, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. I know a lot of people listening to this show might be thinking to themselves, yeah, man, but my life is shit. I've got all this stuff going on. Everybody's got problems. And businesses too, people who have businesses, entrepreneurs. I know you're an entrepreneurship coach. So entrepreneurs oftentimes make a grave mistake. And this is the biggest rookie mistake that entrepreneurs make. They think that churning out the product or the service and selling it or creating it is the business. They're wrong. The business is this: solving the problems when they arise. If you can solve a problem as it arises and deal with it, that is the work. That is the business. I now teach people how to make money on the Amazon platform. Anybody that's interested, you can reach out to me, darkzess@gmail.com. That's my email, darkzess@gmail.com, or go to fbasellercourse.com and I'll give you my 1-hour course for free, teaching you everything about Amazon. But we teach people now how to sell products on the Amazon platform and create recurring revenue streams on that platform. And the thing that we learn is that you have to be resilient. Creating the product and selling it on Amazon, anybody can do that. That's not what's going to get you rich. What's going to get you rich is solving the problems. And so anytime you find yourself faced with a problem in your business, in your personal life, note that that is the work.
Right. It's an obstacle to move through, move around, figure out how to get by it. It's not something that's happening to you. It's something that's happening for you. Like you said, all of the bullying, the picking on you, the being where you came from, you could have taken that as, for the rest of your life, you could have taken it as, why is this happening to me? You know, woe is me, all this stuff. But instead, you later on used that as grit and drive, and then realized this was happening for me. It was part of my journey.
Yeah, sometimes I don't know. Sometimes shit's happening to you, and you got to stop and be introspective, retrospective, look all around and go, why is this shit happening? Because it does happen to you. And sometimes you'll find yourself getting knocked out. I train martial arts, and sometimes you get knocked out. Sometimes you get hurt. Sometimes, you know, somebody will punch you and you got to take a punch. That punch is happening to you. But if you can look and try to figure out why that's happening and try to understand, you might lose that day, but you won't lose the lesson. And that's the key.
Amen to that. Absolutely. So when you're evaluating all the experience that you've had, you know, when you're talking with people and figuring out their story, their business, mentoring them, what have you, what are some key things that you suggest they ought to look for or have in place that makes it a good business versus a hobby or just not viable at all?
Yeah. So margin, number one, it's got to be enough money in it. If nobody's making money from it, unless you're some freaking god, forget about it. I don't like markets where there's no competition. That's a big problem, because that means you're going to have to educate the consumer on why they're going to need your product or service. I like competition. What's best is if the competition is weak and you can step in and break their legs and take over their market. It's the way business works. People think, oh man, Shaahin, you're so aggressive. These words are so aggressive. Dude, if you're not ready to be ruthless in business, if you're not ready to be aggressive, and this doesn't mean that you can't be kind and fair and all the things that we should be, right? We should be fair, we should be amicable, we should be kind to others, we should do good. But if you think that you're going to step into business and everybody's going to be that way to you, and that business is a non-predatory environment where everybody is playing in a friendly, a friendly match of ping pong, you're wrong. The second you turn your head, 5 guys are there with baseball bats waiting to take over your market share. And the only way you win is by being 2 steps ahead of them. So when they show up, you're already gone. You're already on to the next thing or the next way that you're going to market and sell your products, because that's how the world works. There's a fascination, particularly in our time, especially now, with the mob, right? With mafia guys, and you see them on TV and you're like, fuck, man, these guys are criminals. You look at them and they've done horrible things. Why are people so fascinated with mafia guys? You had shows like The Sopranos and one of the great films of all time, The Godfather, and particularly business guys and budding entrepreneurs, because there is an underlying realization in our psyche that that's how business fucking works. Maybe not that extreme, but the reality is that the world is predatory, and you need to be ready and prepared for every possible situation that can come your way. And when you're prepared, nothing can affect you, not for long at least. And so, we teach people how to be prepared when they sell on Amazon. Again, if anyone's interested, check out the Amazon course. But the other thing that I realized is that building an audience is tough. You have a podcast and you've got a YouTube channel and you a bunch of that. Building an audience is tough. Why? Because it takes money, it takes resources. And you have to go out there and you have to continually produce good content at a cost, right? And the better the content, the higher the cost. Hiring editors, it takes a lot of work. But I found a hack to them. And there's a workaround. And this is one of the things I wanted to share with you. And I absolutely think that you should come on board with us too, because I think that what you're doing, inspiring people and empowering people to become better entrepreneurs, we got to get that out there because more people need you as well. And that's that. Do you want to know the hack? Should I tell you?
For real. Come on now. Can't tease me like that.
So the hack is stop building your audience and start borrowing other people's audience. How do you do that?
I see.
I'm doing it right now. I am on your show. I am utilizing your audience to sell my products or service. Not only that, to build a list. People are going to be contacting me for the free 1-hour Amazon course or to join Podcast Cola. And I'm going to tell you about Podcast Cola right now. So Podcast Cola is a service that I started in the beginning of the year. Last year, I did over 200 podcasts. And at first, I started trying to get booked on shows. And despite the fact that I've been on Newsweek and New York Times, and I've had best-selling books, and I've been featured in films, and I've been on every talk show known to man. You guys can look me up. It still wasn't easy. So the thing that I realized is that you cannot pitch yourself. There's no value to somebody saying, hey, I'm fantastic, get me on your show. What you need is somebody else to vouch for you. Not only that, somebody credible. That's where Podcast Cola comes in. You guys Google us while you're watching this. It's podcastcola.com. So what did we do? We started using publicists that I hired, real world people. I paid them $5,000 to $20,000 a month. And I said, hey, reach out to these shows. And so these publicists started reaching out to these shows, and I was paying tens of thousands of dollars to them, and we were getting hits. So I thought, man, the pitches that I used are the same. They're just using my pitches. And there isn't a big dialogue going on other than the pitch that we're presenting, this algorithm that we've created. So the value is in having a company pitch you, and that company has to be credible. And somebody else other than you who's credible has to pitch you. So I said, man, we could do this ourselves. we started hiring team members from all over the world, publicists that are experienced in specifically podcast marketing. And we started going out to these shows and going, hey, I wonder if we could get somebody 50 shows in a month. And we did that with our first client. The first month, we got him 100 podcasts. Now, what's awesome about that? Podcasts live forever. So if you're a coach, you start now doing other people's shows, utilizing their audience. People like Brad Lee, who's got 2.3 million subscribers, and we've gotten multiple people on that show. Or Adam Carolla, I just did Adam Carolla's show. We've had clients who've been on Rogan. We've had clients on Joe Rogan's show. We've had clients who've been on some of the best shows out there. And when you start utilizing these other people's audiences, those audiences become your audience. Now what's happening? Johnny, who's listening to Joe Rogan, is in his car driving to work. He's putting on the show with you because he heard you on Joe Rogan's show, and he's getting to know you. At the end of that hour, because it's long format, if you run a Facebook ad, a LinkedIn ad to try to get clients, those people see an ad pop up and they're like, this is fucking bullshit. This guy's trying to sell me some shit. They get to know you for an hour, just like you guys are getting to know us right now. And they have an understanding that you are an authority. You sell through authority. So now you're not going out there trying to run Facebook ads and LinkedIn ads and push whatever you're selling down people's throats. They know, hey, I heard Brian Elam, that Brian guy, on that show, on Brad Lee or on Joe Rogan, and this dude is fucking awesome. I'd like to learn more. I know he offered up a free book, Lead Magnet, or he offered up a free video where Brian is coaching a young entrepreneur how to get from $0 to $1 million. And I can get that video for free. Let me get it. Now you get that video and you start building a community because you have their email and you have their permission. Not only that, it doesn't go to spam because they know you. You've been on the drive. You're their buddy, Brian. And as you do more and more of these shows, your search engine optimization grows and you become a force. You become an authority in your market, and the clients, the customers will come to you. And then what you have to do is just pick and choose who you want to work with, like we do now. We turn down more clients than we accept, both for our Amazon service and for Podcast Cola. So guys, if anybody's interested, if you have a product or service that you're selling and you want to be on great podcasts like this one and others, go to podcastcola.com and book a free 15-minute strategy session with me. I'd love to talk to you and see if we could help you with that.
Yeah, it is literally the strategy and the way to sell without selling, especially right now. Just like you mentioned earlier, the business, the marketing efforts, they're evolving all the time. 10 years ago, who had ever heard of podcasting? But now it's like one of the biggest mediums out there. And so, yes, if you can leverage other people's content, other people's audiences to create awareness, build awareness, and also, like you said, have somebody, in a sense, vouch for you, obviously, with all the value that Shaahin has given us today, go check him out. Go check out Podcast Cola. But even if you don't feel it's the right fit for you right now, what he just said, go out and start doing it. Go out and start reaching out to podcasts and get yourself on there and out there, because they live forever. And it's just super, super advice. So I'm very, very appreciative of that. Thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure, man. That's been awesome. And seriously, Brian, I mean, if you are looking to increase your business, give me a ring after. I'll share my info with you. And let's start getting you booked, man. Because I think I look through your profile and I think we can do some things and start blowing up your YouTube channel, start blowing up your Instagram, getting you more views and stuff. But the game is, guys, if you want to do that, you got to be on other people's shows. And the fastest way to do that, I mean, we got one client, we got him 200 shows in the last month. We got another client who got 100 shows his first month. It's not easy to do. I shouldn't say it's not easy to do, but it's something you can do. And even if you want to do it yourself, I can show you how to do it. I'm happy to do that on our 15-minute call. So reach out to me and I'll share all my info with you. Again, darkzess@gmail.com. Anybody that wants to email me, darkzess@gmail.com, and I'll give you my number. There we go.
Awesome. Very cool. So yeah, we'll definitely be saving that. I'm going to just screenshot this right now for my own personal use. And do you want me to post that email and that phone number into the comments of the show?
You could put my email up. Yeah. The phone number's private until I get to know people.
Okay.
But yeah, you guys can email me anytime. I respond to emails all the time. And by the way, guys, getting booked on podcasts is not expensive. So that was one of the biggest challenges that we found, was that people were like, oh my God, I can't afford a publicist, $5,000 to $20,000 a month. Sometimes you got to hire 2 of them. It's a lot. If you have a book launch or whatever, if you're just a startup entrepreneur, Podcast Cola does a flat fee. So call us. I mean, our rates are under $1,500, $1,497, and that's for unlimited bookings. So it's not a lot of money, and the impact you get from it. I mean, I don't know if you've ever ran LinkedIn ads or Facebook ads or Insta ads. $1,500 goes like that.
Yeah, it goes real fast. And honestly, like unless you have time, this is why I always preach, like, go organic first with whatever marketing that you're doing, because that is going to help you figure out what works, what doesn't, and then you try to go spend money on ads. But that's a whole different beast. I ran LinkedIn ads once. Number one, they're more expensive than just about any other platform out there. Number two, I got like no results. So yeah. I was like, okay, well, that's that.
Right? Yeah, it's true. You're right. You're right. And it's because you're doing push marketing, and it used to be different, right? When ads were cheap and nobody was doing it and you didn't get inundated with stuff. But now it's everywhere. It's just fucking noise. It's the new, it's the new soda commercial in the middle of the Super Bowl. Nobody fucking wants to watch it. Nobody wants ads on their LinkedIn. They want to do the thing they're doing on their contact, Joe with XYZ Corp, and get the fuck out of there. Right. But what people do want to do is they want to listen to a podcast while they're working out. They want to figure out a problem and talk to an expert, or listen to an expert while they're going on their run, while they're in the car taking the kids to school. They want to do that. So I listen to hundreds of podcasts, and sometimes I'll tell my wife, I'll be like, hey, Joe the other day, and I'm like, fuck, I don't know that guy. I'm using first name about a dude I don't even fucking know. But that's how powerful it is. She's like, and you bought all that stuff? I'm like, yeah, Joe was selling it to me. And she's like, who is that? I'm like, I don't fucking know the guy, but I feel like I know the guy. That's the power of this new medium. And we're on the ground floor. That's right. The amazing thing. And so, yeah, I mean, it's a low investment. We do unlimited, all you can eat type package. And it's pretty wicked, the results that you get. You get real people, and you get them coming in months after you do the show. Those shows live forever on the internet.
Yep, absolutely. It's what's known as evergreen marketing or evergreen content, my friends. And that is what it's all about. The environment moves, the message changes, but it's all about, it all comes back to relationships. The more you can establish a relationship with someone, and I think you would agree with this, the more you can establish that relationship and make them feel like they know you, even though they don't, that is where the real power lies, when you actually do make that call to action.
It's true. 100% true.
Well, you guys, Shaahin is a very busy man. He has a hard stop right now. So unfortunately, this is all the time that we're going to have with him today, but it sounds like there's going to be more in the future, and I look forward to chopping it up with you definitely going forward. So thank you again for everything you shared with us here today. All the links, guys, are going to be in the description below. So check those out. Go to the website, grab the book, take him up on that free offer of the Amazon mentorship Podcast Cola. It's all there. Thank you so much again for your time, sir. I greatly appreciate it.
Appreciate you, Brian. And we'll put this up on Hack and Grow Rich, and let's you and I talk. If you're interested in getting booked on shows, I think you're very bookable. So reach out to us. Okay.
Thank you, my man. I'll save that number for sure.
Yep. Talk to you soon. Bye.
Peace. Thanks so much, guys, for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a like. Please give it a comment. Let me know what your biggest takeaway was from this amazing entrepreneur's interview. And if you want to see more videos just like the one you watched, click right up here because they're exactly what you need to see next. Thank you so much, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.